Welcome to the One Step to the Truth channel. As usual, we are discussing a certain topic. Today's topic is the duties regarding repaying debt and the attitudes towards debts in general, which play an important role in religious doctrines. Let's consider how Christianity, Judaism, and Islam view debts and their related obligations with examples from their sacred texts. Christianity. In Christianity, the attitude towards debts is closely related to principles of justice, honesty, and responsibility. The Bible teaches the importance of repaying debts and being honest in financial matters. 1. Repaying debts. Example from the Bible. Owe no one anything except to love one another, for the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. This verse emphasizes that Christians should strive to live without debts, repaying their debts promptly in order not to disrupt harmony in their relationships with others. 2. Honesty in financial matters. Example from the Bible. The wicked borrow and do not pay back, but the righteous are generous and keep giving. This verse indicates that refusing to repay debts is considered an unjust act, contrary to principles of righteousness. 3. Forgiveness of debts. Example from the Bible. In the Lord's Prayer, Jesus teaches, "Forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors." This emphasizes the importance of forgiveness of debts, both material and spiritual, provided that the debtor sincerely seeks to repay them. Judaism. In Judaism, the attitude towards debts is based on the laws of the Torah, which prescribe justice and mercy in financial relationships. Laws regarding loans and debts regulate both private and social relationships. 1. Repaying debts. Example from the Torah. If you lend money to my people, to the poor among you, you shall not deal with them as a creditor. You shall not exact interest from them. This verse emphasizes the importance of repaying debts, but also forbids taking interest from the poor. 2. Forgiveness of debts. Example from the Torah. At the end of every 7 years, you shall grant a release of debts. According to this law, every 7th year, known as the Year of Jubilee, debts are forgiven. This rule helps prevent debt slavery and maintain social justice. 3. Prohibition of usury. Example from the Torah. You shall not charge interest on loans to your brother or sister, whether interest on money or interest on provisions. Fear your God. In Judaism, taking interest on loans to other Jews is strictly prohibited, reflecting principles of mercy and fraternal support. Islam. In Islam, the attitude towards debts and their repayment is regulated both in the Quran and the Hadiths of the Prophet Muhammad. Islam places great importance on fulfilling obligations and justice in financial matters. First, obligation to repay debts. Example from the Quran, "O you who believe, fulfill your obligations." This verse emphasizes that Muslims must strictly adhere to their obligations, including repayment of debts. Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad. Delay in repaying a debt by a wealthy person is injustice. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught that if a person has the ability to repay a debt but delays its repayment, that is an unjust act. 2. Forgiveness of debts. Example from the Quran. If the debtor is in difficulty, grant him time until it's easy for him to repay. But if you forgive the debt by way of charity, that is better for you if you only knew. This verse calls for mercy towards debtors, especially if they are facing financial difficulties. 3. Prohibition of usury, riba. Example from the Quran. Those who charge usury are in the same position as those controlled by the devil's influence. This is because they claim that usury is the same as commerce. In Islam, taking interest on loans is strictly prohibited, reflecting a desire for justice and protection of the poor. Thus, the attitudes towards monetary debts in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam include strict obligations to repay debts, prohibition of usury, and in some cases, a call for forgiveness of debts. Each of these religious approaches emphasizes the importance of justice, mercy, and honesty in financial relationships. Be fair and say what is closer to your heart. Is it Christianity, maybe Judaism, or perhaps Islam? Leave your opinion in the comments, and maybe we'll agree with you or discuss it together on the path to truth.